Capricorn, this is your October 2022 soul story. If you have a sun rising or moon in the sign, this is your reading. It's Romy here. Thanks so much for taking the time to tune in. We're going to open up the month of October with the Seven of Cups. Now, here's the thing. There's going to be a lot of well-meaning advice this month for you, but you are going through something that is somewhat sensitive and complex, and its delicacy means that you really have to handle it your way, on your terms and in your timeline. And October has an intensity about it, and it is very layered in terms of its experience. And each and every one of us are having a really unique dialogue with the universe right now in terms of what's being expected of us, and at a soul level, how we are managing the transition and allowing the growth to move us forward. But the Seven of Cups suggests to me that there's some confusion because the array of choices, or I want to say interference, even if it's well-meaning from people who deeply love and care for you, can put you in a state of disharmony with what you inherently know is the right way forward or the right thing to do in relation to something. It may be that there are times that you need to kind of check out, and I wouldn't blame you because, you know, we're going to be experiencing the eclipse energies this month. We've got a new moon solar eclipse in Scorpio. We also have a number of planets stationing direct, which is wonderful, but even that in and of itself kind of causes a disruption as they change course. So Mercury, Pluto, which of course is in your sign, and Saturn all shifting direct this month, which is wonderful because in some ways it means that the floodgates opens. A lot of things that have been delayed and held back all of a sudden are starting to move again. The energy is shifting. But we also have Mars going retrograde at the end of the month, which is quite a significant transit for all of us to be working with. So it really is bringing a little bit of everything through. And it would be very easy, especially if you are in any way absorbing or too attached to the circus energy that's going on out there, to feel a little bit doubtful or uncertain. And so I think the most important thing to take away for this month for you, Capricorn, is really thinking about ways in which you can self-honor and how that looks for you, given the ways in which you've changed, and what the practical steps that you can take to ensure that you're going to kind of uphold that standard, because that's the thing that's going to give you a clear route forward, says the Chariot. Now, we know that you are moving and there's going to be things that happen very swiftly, and there may be a few bumps in the road when it's eclipse season. You know, these trajectory shifts come in pretty powerfully. And there may even be, some things that are being shattered around you. Perhaps it's, some thoughts or ideas that you had about something, or even something on a more material, physical way around your life that's kind of disintegrating or dissolving. Because honestly, there's a new pathway or something emerging that the universe is trying to get your attention in relation to. And that Chariot is telling me that they have quite a clear directive for you on where you're supposed to be. And so if you'd veered off course, which by the way is absolutely fine, because there's also something in that in terms of the detours about what you've been able to experience and unearth. And I think, let's just say that the universe may send you on some rather interesting roads and rabbit holes, but you're going to engage sharper and more clear than you ever have before about what you need to do, where you need to be, and what feels right for you. So, as we come into this energy of Libra more fully in October, in this 10th house of, you really wanting to think about how you leave legacy in the world, and the kind of energy that you want to leave from every single encounter and connection and situation. And we want that to be one that's really positive and absolutely expresses like the essence of who you are. And I think that you're figuring that out more than ever before this month, because it's almost like there is so much white noise. There are so many opinions. There is so much desire to project and imprint on you that, you may well get to a point where you just kind of put a line in the sand and go, enough already. You can't tell me this isn't me. This is not what I believe. This is not what I choose to align with. And sort of what comes out of that is this sense of purpose. And with it, your ability to know what it is that's going to help you to maintain that level of peace. And I think that is really important. It's impossible to, at this time, be so polished and flawless. And in fact, I think that you're going through something that is almost requiring like a birth. There we go, a rebirth. And that creative energy, that creator energy is so messy. And so there's nothing polished about that, which means that there's nothing polished about our experience of going through it on an emotional level, within our connections and relationships, the things that we're trying to focus and get out into the world, whatever that looks like. And there's a vulnerability that comes in with that, as we shed a layer and we sort of have this sense of rebirth, we can feel very doubtful and insecure. And even when there's a rising sense of excitement, it can quickly be followed by that kind of gripping sense of fear of like, what if I get it wrong? Or what if this isn't the right way forward for me? But overall, I see you having a really powerful courage of your conviction this month. And I think that's important. Now, there are major decisions to make, but you're making them on the fly or on the move. So I don't even know that you're getting an awful lot of time this month, Capricorn, to go away and to process and to reflect. That might come later, but I think you may well be put in a position, or things are unfolding and you're being stretched and pushed and pulled in so many different directions. At times you're not going to know if you're coming or going, but you're still going to be asked to sort of make the call, to decide, to choose. And what I'm looking at here is you being able to do that, and that you're making the right choice and decision for you, knowing that ultimately that will support and be the right thing for people around you, even if they don't necessarily understand, the rationale or the reasoning that you're putting forth for what it is that you're doing. So got the energy of the Hermit coming in, the wisdom that's being brought forth for you. And remember, the veil is very thin this month. We'll welcome Sowe and Halloween at the end of the month. And your ability to connect in to your guides, your ancestors, and really to more clearly connect to what your higher self and your intuition is bringing forth. Helps to give you that sense of space and that sense of peace. Now, we have a full moon coming in Aries on the 9th of the month, and it's going to be a bit hot-headed around that time. There may well ensue an awful lot of drama that's kind of going on outside of you. There may be a desire on one or several people's agendas to try to drag you into that a little bit. But I see you kind of stepping back, and I see you being quite quiet and just in a fairly observatory role at what may or may not play out as a result of that. I think that's the wise thing to do, because you're a bit damned if you do and damned if you don't. I think you are going to be in a rock and a hard place in terms of what's asked of you, or the position that somebody or more than one person tries to put you in. So my advice for you is absolutely just to try to unplug and to not really necessarily get involved. But there's something really interesting that I think you can learn from the experience of watching and sort of seeing how some of the behaviours are playing out. There will be something that's mirrored to you. It may be the way that you would have dealt with something in the past, and that you realize actually that's not me anymore. I don't do that anymore. I've been able to tame that part of myself, to heal that part of myself, to find a way to soothe and tend and balance that in my own energy field. So I think you'll come away from that feeling quite gratified in terms of your perception of self. And that's really an important soul message for you this month, because it's also going to give you confidence to be able to kind of take something on, or to know that you can kind of operate in a particular environment. And that's important, right? Because sometimes when we get so overwhelmed with what might be playing out in the collective, that we can sort of become more and more hermit-like. Yeah, literally, that Hermit card showing up. And that's not really what the universe wants for us either. It wants us to be out there, being able to be social and connect with the community and friendships and people in our life. But know what our truth is and how we can maintain that level of being able to stay centered and grounded in spite of the chaos and the churn and the roller coaster that other people might be going on. So you're being helped and supported, I think, to find that balance more keenly through the course of this month. And something is being brought to the surface for you. Now remember, these eclipses always bring really powerful revelations through, sometimes sudden endings. You definitely, I think, have a major decision and a major life shift that's happening. It may not all unfold through the course of October, but I think you're being moved and shifted to start to make your way in what may feel like something completely different. It's a bit of an adventure, actually, if I'm really tapped into this energy, and I feel quite excited for you about what's possible here. So that new beginning that's emerging from this and from the decision and the confidence and the belief that you have, it's fractious. It's got that sort of piercing quality to it. And that's what I said, something shatters. So the sword is shattering the surface of the water here. The rippling effect of that is pretty profound. But it's coming still from this place of higher wisdom and knowing. So you're going to have to trust in that, regardless of how much it feels like it's destabilizing people around you and even yourself, because this is what I'm saying about this intimate dialogue that we're all having with the universe at the moment. So how can you honor yourself through this process? That's what I want you to think about. And I want you to remember that, you are on the right path for you, because where that takes you is to a place of realizing how resilient you are, how much you've been able to assert a level of independence and self-reliance, and that matters because you have to know what you're made of. You have to be able to realize your potential. And, she's suggesting here that there's this invitation to draw in greater degrees of abundance to help you feel safe and secure, regardless of how treacherous the journey or how bumpy the road may feel around you. Now, what is kind of interesting is we do have two fairly solitary figures here with the Hermit and the Nine of Pentacles. And so some of you may be feeling the distance or the separation from someone through the course of this month. What needs to happen? The truth needs to be discussed. Something needs to break through that kind of wall. And so if there has been some confusion here, there is a desire to move forward. There is major choices and decisions to make. You have to be careful and mindful that you're not moving into judgment energy. It's very easy to do when you observe other people and thinking where they should or shouldn't be, especially when you know that they know better. Let's bring it back to us and think about our own boundaries. Let's remember our boundaries are a reflection of our value system, and it's maybe time for you to re-engage with what yours is. And as you do that, you're going to be able to communicate and articulate more clearly to yourself, by the way, in that inner dialogue, what you will and will not tolerate. And remember, all of these retrograde energies that we've been experiencing the last few weeks and months are here to give you an understanding of what the lessons learned have been, and then what changes you're going to make because of what you've been through. So now we get to walk our talk. So the universe delivers as these planets shift, but at the same time, it's for you to say, yes, I've understood, and here's me allowing my personal expansion to take place. And if you don't, the discomfort can be quite acute as you are given those short, sharp reminders from the universe. So I think on a relationship level, there might be quite a defining point coming through this month, especially with that eclipse energy. And remember, that does bring sudden endings, but at the same time, it can bring about profound revelations and sort of fated twists to the story. Mars going retrograde in Gemini at the end of the month does tend to slow things down, and our energy, our momentum, our focus gets hit. So keep that in mind in regards to things and use it, work with the energy. How can you go back over to bring in more passion, more energy to something, figuring out a new strategy? Considering the ways in which you want to be the hero, and you're taking care of your physical energy and how you're allowing yourself to process challenging emotions like anger, frustration, resentment, especially that full moon in Aries, it will charge and whip everything up. So you're going to be aware of, again, the ways in which you can do things that are going to support you, not just in the here and now, in the present, but ultimately moving forward to create a more balanced, harmonious experience for you. So I'm going to go ahead and pull our additional 3 cards for the extended reading, Capricorn. If you're new to my channel, we will cover another 20-25 minutes to give you deeper insights into the month ahead. You can find the link in the comment and the description box underneath. First of all, I'm just going to invite you now to think about a personal question that might not have come up in the main read, and we will go ahead and pull you some cards around that. Okay, I'm going to clarify this main reading now, so just beginning with the 7 of Cups. 6 of Swords coming through here. A lot of travel showing up for you guys this month. Death. Ace of Pentacles. Nice aces coming through for you this month. Decision to make, but conflicted about the decision. Intuition knows. Oh, you've got some great energies to work with here. Okay, let's just pull some for your additional reveal cards. All the decks that I use, by the way, Capricorn, are listed in the comment and the description box below as well. Right, just going to pull your oracle cards now. This is Life Soul Vision Oracle, my new deck. It is now on general release. You can find details over on my website and see all the card reveals. Let's see what we have for you. Okay, 38 energy conversations. Wonderful. Talk to you about that in the extended. And this is Kyle Gray's angelic prayer deck. So let's get a little extra angelic support for you this month, Capricorn. Signs from heaven. Beautiful. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to wish you beautiful blessings for this month ahead. If you're joining me for the extended, I'll see you there. And I'll see you again next time. You take care.